when somebody's going to be a professional Santa, they're going to make that thing stick to them for love or money. But if a kid wants it off, it's coming off.
Welcome to Monday Mornings with Michelle, the new business podcast. Whether you're kicking off your day or kickstarting your business, Michelle is going to kick your ass into next week with the essential fours: strategy, systems, support, and state of mind. Now, welcome to center stage, Michelle Nedelec.
Hey there, peeps. This is Michelle Nedelec, and I'm super glad that you're here with us today because I am here with the most amazing Ryan. Ryan, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. So this is our Christmas special edition. We're going to talk about all things fun and Christmassy, especially stuff going down at the costume shop. So let's start with, tell us who you are and a little bit of kind of high level about your business.
Well, like you said, my name is Ryan. I own the Costume Shop. I bought it in 2016. I've been in the Halloween industry for many, many, many years. And the Costume Shop is a local to Calgary business. We have three sort of facets. We sell online, so that's worldwide, nationwide, provincial, city, you name it. We, as I said, ship everywhere. We're proud to have launched a couple partnerships this year online with Sezzle, where that gives you an opportunity to pay out things. Then it also gives you an opportunity for local Calgary for same-day delivery. And then we use the regular couriers like UPS and Canada Post. Then I have for locals again, rentals and everything for sale in store. So we invite you to come in as well. So it's thecostumeshop.com. That's 2 P's and an E.
Awesome. No peeing allowed right now. No puppies, no excitement, just PPE.
No, 2 P's and an E.
You've been running that Halloween shop for a while, and when you said Halloween, I don't know if you meant Christmas, but I know that Halloween is the big one for you guys. Talk to me about Christmas and how that augments your business.
It's funny. All I heard in the month of October was, "This must be your Christmas." And then I'm like, no, there's still Christmas. As the line went, we were very happy. There were lines for Halloween leading in, and we had people trying to buy Santa suits, which are quite in depth of a purchase because it comes with a lot of things. Everything from the jacket, the pants, the boot tops, the hats, the gloves, the bell, and even boots. And then there's eyebrow whitener and beards and all that sort of stuff and different looks. So Christmas is a whole other sort of entity on its own, and we rent Santa suits in hundreds of them, and we sell them as well. Did I mention Halloween and Christmas? I guess my customers meld the two together. They say
Halloween.
Hella Christmas. But it's right now we're definitely in full-on Christmas mode. There's lots of Santas coming in, lots of Christmas themed events. Then that's going to bleed right into New Year's before you know it. And there's the New Year's Eve events where there's 80s parties and all sorts of themed parties, including masquerades. So and I believe any reason's a good reason to dress up. So that's why we're the Costume Shop and we're open year round.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of going in and getting the rentals because to me, it's always, go big or stay home. Like when I do something,
Yeah.
You may not want to own a Santa costume, but when you do it, you want to do it right.
Right.
The rentals they're beautiful. They are gorgeous. Talk to us about some of the rental stuff you have
So the rental suits we have, it's an interesting way to describe it. We have like 3 different price points that we have for the rental options. We have tons of different rental outfits altogether, but for the Santa suits, we have a few different options. And I'm going to pull that up on my website so I don't mess that up for everybody because we did some changes and, I'm getting old. So there's certain things I forget.
What happens when you're right-hand man to Santa Claus?
Right? The joke is that he comes here to get his boots and his new Santa suits. So Santa suits essentially, listen, for retail, I have suits that start at $20 for your pub crawlers and for people that just want to have a good time.
It's going to be trashed by the end of the night.
Beg your pardon?
It's going to be trashed by the end of the night.
Correct. It will. And then there's the other part of the Santas that sometimes they need him in some sort of photo shoot, but he's sort of obscured. So they like those cheap suits so that it has the look of Santa, but he's in a distance. So then we have, like I said, from $20, $30 all the way up to $1,100. What you're looking at, and that's for retail. And when the higher end suits is what we typically have incorporated into our rentals so that people will pay they don't want us to drop $700-800 on or $1,000 on a Santa suit. You can rent one from us for under $200. Everything's in.
Nice.
So that's what really makes us kind of unique with that perspective. And we give you an option. You can rent it with Santa wig and beard, or choose to buy one of your own wig and beards and then just rent from us year round, a different suit or the same suit. And you don't have to shell out all the money. Some people are a little nervous about the wig and beards. We send the wig and beards out to the dry cleaners to be cleaned, as we do with all the suits. And then we take them back here, and then they get kind of washed again in another styling, the wig and beards. But some people are still skeptical, which is kind of funny. They'll go sleep on in a hotel with their head on a pillow, but and then use the towel in a hotel, but they're a little worried about the Santa wig and beard. They're like, I'm putting that on my head. I'm like, where does your head go when you go to sleep at a hotel? Oh. But you know what? It's everybody's got to be comfortable, and we like to have everything.
Nice.
I even have my own. I've designed my own Santa wig and beard. It's called the Costume Shop Santa wig and beard. So you can see that right on my website. I guess Michelle, you'll put the links to the site there, and right when you get to the homepage, there's a quick link to Santa and everything Christmas, and you'll see everything from elves. I've got Buddy the Elf sold out, but good news, more are on its way. 24 more on their way, hopefully here mid next week. But then again, it's shipping, who knows. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Lots of different choices when it comes to the Santa, but the big things we're asking people when they want to be Santa is as follows. What do you want to be Santa for? And it sounds like a strange question, but it really isn't. It's not a strange question, because if you want to be Santa in a commercial, or do you want to be Santa for your grandkids? Do you want to be Santa for your kids? Do you want to be Santa for the school play or the school? You want to go to a Christmas event? Are kids going to come sit on your lap? Are you at a distance? Are you in photos? There's a bunch of different reasons why I ask those questions.
Fooling your own kids is a lot harder at Christmas than fooling somebody else's kids on TV.
Correct. And so if you're going to get the $20 suit and hope to fool kids, good luck. Right. But at the end of the day, the thing is that I'm not in anybody else's pocket. I'm not going to tell you what you need to spend to fool anybody. You might be the greatest actor on planet Earth, but I would even challenge you, my alter ego, Ryan Reynolds, as opposed to Ryan. We're both Canadian. He'd have trouble passing off as Santa in the $20 suit. The flip side is he might have fun drinking his tequila in the $20 suit. So as we call it, the pub crawl Santa. Popular things that somebody will get the lower end suits for, also our mid-grade suits, are to go skiing in. Often the ski hills will have a deal too. On Christmas Day, if you're dressed as Santa, they'll give you a reduced ticket price. So there's
make sure your suits are big enough to handle your ski suits underneath. That's exactly going to be a problem when your butt hits the slopes.
That's exactly the issue you got to deal with, is that will it fit over your clothing, blah blah blah. But what everybody forgets about Santa is Santa's a big boy as a character. He's a big boy, so the suits are built big. So what's really funny is I got these guys that are like big football players and like, I need a 3X. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't understand. I need a 3X. No, you don't. I think you actually might even be the regular standard size. What? Yeah, because we sell, like, the suits are made big enough so that it goes over the tummy and everything else. But if you don't have a tummy, because you could be tinier, we sell you the tummy to fill the right.
We want a jolly, happy Santa, not a
jolly,
ripped,
somebody's
sexy
eating all the turkey and the stuffing and the desserts and the pudding, and probably hasn't stopped from January. Just keep eating forever. But at the end of the day is with rentals, I give you the Santa stuffer, right? The tummy stuffer, and we give you the gloves and give you the bell. But when you're buying it, you don't have all that stuff, so you have to keep adding on. That's where it gets more expensive, and why rentals seem to be a way to go for a bunch of people. And others that want to be grandpa year in, year out, year in, year out, or they are grandpa year in, year out, but I want to be Santa year in, year out. Then they'll look at purchasing one. And that way they can get the pictures of the grandkids and the family every year, and they're in the same suit, the same beard, the same everything. So it has that nostalgia. And people will come in and they'll buy it in piecemeal. So they'll buy the suit and a decent beard one year, and then the following year they might invest more money on new gloves or the real boots, and then the following year they'll spend more money on a much nicer beard. Santa beards even range from $35 to $175 for a wig and beard set.
I just want to say first, before we get into that, I think it would be epic as a little kid to go into Grandpa's attic and see this big trunk with Santa Claus. He was like, oh, Santa. Yeah.
I think that might be absolutely spectacular. It would be great to catch on video, for sure. All right, especially if you can get that going.
So let's talk about wigs, etc., and beards, because I know that there's a huge difference between the different qualities of wigs that you wouldn't know unless you sport one for like 12 hours.
Right.
So talk
Okay.
to me about the differences between them, and why the cost differential.
Right. That's a great question. And that's a lot of things that a lot of people don't understand because, today the low end stores, everybody carries a wig of some sort. So understand wigs were, the accoutrement, the added piece that people will wear. Some will confuse it with real hair. Real hair wigs can go for thousands and thousands of dollars. So let's be clear. What I'm selling is not a real hair wig. However, I look for different fibers that are a little bit more responsive or a lot more responsive to heat and styling. So I have heat stylable wigs, like the Santa Claus wig and beard that the Costume Shop has made is heat stylable. So you can curl it and wash it, curl it, wash it, curl it. It's designed to keep going as a Santa wig and beard. Now, you can easily ruin it in one night if you so choose. You can ruin anything in one night. The end of the day, what you want to do is make sure you take care of things. So wigs are typically.
So if you've never curled hair before, you probably want to have some lessons on that first. So I can't tell you how many girls with long hair have all of a sudden short hair because they don't know how to use a curling iron or a flatten.
Well, the neat thing about the fibers, it goes up 360 degrees. So you have to really, really want to really
burn the
ruin
shite
it.
out.
Yeah, like you use a lighter, it's not going to do so well. But if you're using the curling iron, you should be fine. Don't lick the curling iron. But the big thing is when you're dealing with wigs and beards, there's a few factors. The big factor is weight. So the amount of fiber will determine the sort of the value of a wig. So sometimes you'll see like a dollar store will sell wigs and they say, well, listen, you're $30 a wig. I could buy this for $5. Yeah, well, the difference would be is the amount of fiber added onto this wig cap. So then there's also the wig cap itself. There's different qualities of the cap that hold onto the fiber. So you can get a really low end, and then, it may or may not look like, as much as I'm balding here, it may or may not look like that in a few minutes after you put it on. Sort of like when I was growing up, it'll date me a little while, but when I was growing up, you had a costume, the elastic popped off, everything popped off with, you barely made it out the front door. So things are better now than they were then, but you can manage to destroy it. So you have those three things. You have the cap, you have the amount of fiber, and then the type of fiber that's used on the wig. So you can have a lot of fiber on a wig, so raising up the cost of the wig, but it's not heat stylable, so that will bring it down a little bit. And then when I say a lot of fiber, so like yourself, you have long hair. So if you get long hair, that equates to more fiber. But then, if it's really tight curls, that will also equate to more fiber. And then, of course, how much labor is involved. There's the fun comb over ones, so that there's a bald cap on the top. So there's more
Gotta wear the hat.
labor involved in making these things. So sometimes prices are included with that. And then it's just one of those things where people don't take a look at it till they need to. And so it totally depends, which is when we're talking about Christmas, we say, what are you dressing up for? What are you trying to do for? When you're going out for Halloween, same sort of concept. Are you going to have a quick bar party and you don't care? Or are you going to an event where, people are trying to win a contest and you're trying to do better? That sort of thing. Or are you dressing up for, your spouse at home for, a different type of fun? So there's lots of different reasons why somebody will dress up and choose. Michelle, if you ever want to be blonde, it's just like that. You could be short hair, blonde hair, like that, or mini brunette. You can be the what's her name from Pulp Fiction. So there's a lot of characters, or I can get the short curly hair and be Buddy the Elf.
Hey, dude, I was super stoked when I had half black, half white hair that you guys got the wig in, because it cost me about $750 every 6 weeks to take care of that puppy.
So you know what? I sell a wig for $30. I'd be happy to sell you that wig for $150, $300, save you 50% of the money. And then we just get a little more, and think about you're saving 50%. That'd be awesome, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah. So talk to me about the beard. How do they keep the beards out? Because I get gravity kind of holds the hair down. How do you keep the beard up? And especially when you got little kids pulling at it.
Right. So the beards are attached to the thing, and it's really sort of more tight to the chin. And there is ways. So there are wig tapes. There are different different glues, different tapes to put on to use with the Santa wig and beard, depending on what people are doing with it, right? For the most part, you know, when somebody's going to be a professional Santa, they're going to make that thing stick to them for love or money. But if a kid wants it off, it's coming off. The only way it's not is if it's a real beard. So most of the mall Santas, there are a few that will have a wig and beard over their own wig and beard. And just because their beard isn't as long. So if you pull on it a little bit, it just kind of separates from their existing hair. So kind of makes sense. But otherwise, yeah, no, they're going to have their own, they're going to grow their wig and beard. They do it all year so that they're ready.
That's hilarious. I love it. The professional Santa Clauses. And I also think it's particularly hilarious. You really don't want the bald cap cheaper version when you have little kids playing with your stuff, because for them to rip off the hat or whatever, if you're not used to hanging around with little kids, you don't realize how grabby they are.
Yeah, they were grabby, touchy feely. It's kind of funny with, like you mentioned, with the Santas. It's really nice to meet a lot of the professional Santas. Most of them are just like, they embody the character. They're jovial, they're funny, they got the big belly laugh. I even have one who's an Orthodox Jew, and he won't be Santa Saturdays or Fridays because of the Sabbath, but he plays Santa the rest of the year because he's got the hair, he's got the look, and he's just like, I just like making kids smile and laugh and have a really good time. And he's like, people want me to play Santa, so I play Santa. And you know, and then he has all these great stories of how he's made kids happy and families happy. And you know what, it with everything that's gone, especially these last few years, how things have gone really out of hand. Looking for reasons to smile, laugh, and have a good time sometimes are harder to find. But when you do find them, you gotta encompass them and really embrace them.
Nice. So somebody a little less in the limelight, but just as important. Let's talk about Mrs. Claus. Everything from the grandmotherly, matronly look to the hot, sexy Santa, and everything in between. What do you got going on there?
So it's exactly as you just described it, everything in between. Mrs. Claus is quite the interesting character in terms of what people are looking for. Everybody seems to have their own look of what they want. This year I'm a little leaner on choices, and that's because most of the manufacturers went last 2 years. We didn't have events where we needed, and Santa Claus was doing more of these Zoom type meetings. So even Santa sales weren't where they were, and I'm hoping they're going to bounce back. And Mrs. Claus just really wasn't in high demand for plays or anything of that nature. So we have higher end, but she'll come at a higher price. And the sexy Claus, if you will, for the bar goer, or the lady who's just wants to show off herself, and why not? So right? I do have that.
Go shopping at Safeway as Mrs. Claus. I think that'd just be hilarious.
And wouldn't it? I always thought it'd be funny actually to show up in a banana costume buying bananas at Safeway. I think that's more entertaining. I go to the beef section and as dressed up as a hamburger. I think that'd just kind of be funny. You know, show up as a hot dog. Hey, do you have any of me here? I'm looking for a 12-pack. It's kind of funny. It looks
like this.
Yeah, this is what it looks like. I know I need to buy the buns separate, but yeah. But it's kind of funny, like, you know, go dressed as an apple, going to get apples, get bananas, pickles to get pickles.
Giant ape going to buy a bunch of bananas.
That would be fun too, right? Right? Reminiscent to sitting in the railway car for what was that? What was the name of the movie? Eddie Murphy. Oh, it'll come to me. Where he swapped places with Dan Aykroyd, and I'll remember it. And then after we're done,
you will.
But yeah, where he was tied up holding his banana. Kind of entertaining. Yeah. So Mrs. Claus, there are a few different sexier types, and there's few covered up types. We have the different wigs and the different looks to go through. I don't know what just happened. Did you just disappear? Or is my computer just?
Yeah.
All right. You're back. Whoa! Welcome back. If you haven't been here, we're talking
all
about
sorts of fun stuff too. Like I'm thinking elves, I'm thinking Christmas carolers. That you still have the, I mean, there's so much stuff that you guys have to be able to just go in and play. And the makeup, oh my god, and the makeup. Talk to me about your makeup because that's super fun.
So makeup is one of those things also that it's kind of like endless. Everything from glitter to pasties, to eyebrow covers, to hair liquid cover, to graphic gross stuff, to Krampus or anything else, and right back into a little, not so much of the makeup that's really more beauty makeup. I'm more in the Halloween style, or make your cheeks more rosy,
theatrical, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
I have these great things. You could paint your teeth all gold. I can make them all nicotine like, or I can make you look like the greatest hockey player on planet Earth, which means you paint them black, you smile, got no teeth. That'd be a great Santa, eh?
Right. He's really
Santa?
Canadian because then he
Don't
plays hockey.
Yeah, hockey will knock your teeth out. But if you imagine Santa not wearing teeth, not having any teeth in his mouth,
Oh, and then I get into all the denture jokes that my ex used to play on his nieces and nephews. No, we're not going there. No.
That's pretty funny. It's you know what? This time of year is fun. It's coming off of the Halloween rush into the Christmas/New Year's rush.
Yep.
And I feel like in the month of October, I felt people were ready to go and party. I as much asked them the same thing while they were in line. Hey, who's ready to party? And everybody just screamed and yelled. And then this was the last 2 days as the line wrapped around, and like, hey, you got a long line. And I said, just remember, Christmas is coming. Don't wait till the 23rd to go shopping. And then they would just look at me. I'm like, well, coming October 30th is like coming
right
on the 23rd of December to go shopping and expect no lines.
Hilarious. So I got to ask you, what is your favorite part about your business?
Really putting smiles on people's faces. That's really a lot of fun. If you want, basically taking the business aspect of the business out, just looking at it as the fun part where people leave happy and they have great stories and there's great pictures and great events and there's so much story to tell. I feel like we play a very pivotal role in people's lives and their history, and their day-to-day memories of different events. So if we help you, I feel like we're like a means to an end. We're at the middle point, like, hey, I'm gonna throw a party, and it could just be a regular birthday party, or it could be an 80s party, and then all of a sudden we're dressing you up as Ferris Bueller, or we're dressing you up as a Santa, or we're dressing you up as a pickle, or whatever it is that you're going at. You're gonna go to that event, and then that event is going to be forever memorable in your head. It separates that birthday from many others because everybody's dressed up. So that's one of the biggest things for me, is just being part of people's memories, not so much me myself, but the business itself and what we gave them, supplied them for that event. So that's, to me, is the biggest changer. Like, think, here, I'll make you smile. Imagine you have everybody over for dinner tonight, Michelle, and you handed all the guys a mullet. Right there, just gives you that reaction, right? And everybody would be acting. Or you give everybody a fedora and a cigar, and they gotta be talking like a New York mafioso, and see where you're gonna go with that, right? So you can have a lot of fun with dress up. Think of it, it's like charades, but with props.
Exactly. And that brings us to the kind of the other aspect of the quote unquote holidays. If you're going to have 2 weeks off, you may as well have fun with it, because, come on, if everybody else is slowing down, everybody's getting into kind of let's plan the new year, let's start doing the things. And I think just making a conscious attention to making it fun and bringing people together is really what this holiday is about. No matter what your religion is, no matter what your background is, it's, it really is about how do we bring a little fun and spirit and happiness and niceties to other people. Has anybody ever told you kind of what they're doing for a specific holiday, something that struck you as, wow, that is different and hilarious? The mullet one was hilarious, but
yeah. So here's an interesting thing. If you've been to the store, so at the front of my store, I have a sort of like a caricature cutout. Actually, it's right here. So I have this character cutout, and one family decided what they're gonna do is, I'll show you. They did this. Do you see it?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, and so they basically said thanks to the costume shop staff. So they took their whole family and they came to the store, bought Santa hats, and this was their Christmas card to their entire friends and family.
So they're all behind the cutout, which has everybody from Snow White, Superman.
Yeah, but they put on their Christmas hats.
Yeah.
They put on their
Santa.
Santa hats. They came in. This is how they did their Christmas card and set the
Aw.
tone for Christmas for them and their entire family. I thought that was kind of funny and unique and
super fun,
different.
right?
Things that, like family events bring all their own stresses. You have Uncle Bob or whoever comes in and like always gets under somebody's skin, and everybody knows what everybody does as everybody's character as they come to this to whatever event they're gonna have at the or dinner they're gonna have. They're like, you watch all the movies, they very classical. Who's gonna play what role? Who's gonna be an instigator? Who's gonna cause trouble? Who's gonna hide under the table? Everybody sort of has these things. Then you want to really throw it in the works, have them all dress up. Gives you the opportunity. Like if you're the quiet one and you're the host, all of a sudden you're Mrs. Claus or Santa himself, and they'll be like, "Where's Michelle?" Good question.
Couldn't make it.
Couldn't make it. So there's different things that people can do to have a really good time, and really,
awesome.
really everybody's only limited by their own imagination. So that's unfortunately the most limiting part from most people is their own imagination, whether that's in business on how to grow, or how to change or how to diversify. We get into these little, for lack of a better description, and we get into a little box and we're stuck in there trying to figure out how to do whatever it is that we want to do. And then, throw a pandemic in and they put scotch tape and masking tape and every other glue on top of that box. You can't get out. So literally,
Right.
then now we're all coming out. We somehow broke the tape and we're getting out of this box, and now Christmas is here and Halloween's here and New Year's is here, and okay, recession, but let's not look at that. Let's just look at all the other fun stuff that could happen. And if we can keep trying to, as Rocky says, it's not how hard you can get it hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. So keep moving forward and have a good time with the holidays and change it up. Keep moving forward, keep changing, keep going.
Love it. So peeps, go to thecostumeshop.com, and of course it's SHOPPE, and we will have those links. We'll have connections from Ryan on his social media platforms, all that kind of fun stuff. Ryan, before we let you go, at what point in life did you know that you're a special kind of crazy enough to think that you could become an entrepreneur?
That's a super question.
Thanks.
I don't know. I think I was an entrepreneur since I was a kid, from mowing lawns to, I delivered the Montreal Gazette when I was really, I made them a pitch to deliver, and I was one of their younger people to come to them and say, "Hey, I'd like to deliver the paper." And they're like, "You're too young." But I had an interview. I interviewed the guy who was coming to interview me. I had Coke set up. I had all sorts of stuff set up in my room office, and said, "Okay, how can we do this? And what's going to be the route? What's going to be, how many papers do I have to deliver? And how do we grow the business?" And he was like, "Wait a minute, you're just supposed to be the deliver paper. You're supposed to deliver it." So I guess it's been in me since the.
Yeah, you're like, clearly you don't
blood.
understand that I'm not taking the employee role in this relationship.
Right. Here, I know you want me to deliver the paper, but how do I get more people buying the paper so I could deliver more paper? And then I figure, he's like, "Listen, if you're really smart, you can get all the customers to pay once a month, and then you don't have to go out as much, and you'll make the same amount of money." I said, "That doesn't sound smart to me at all." He said, "Why?" I said, "I'd be willing to bet you everybody's going to give me the same tip whether I show up there once a week or for once a month." He says, "Well, I don't believe you." So I tried it. If I collected every week for the newspaper, they all gave me $1 tip. And if I came in 2 weeks, they still gave me the same $1 tip. So thanks.
Every day.
And so when I collected once a month, they gave me the same $1 tip. So I collected every week.
Absolutely.
When you collect 50 houses every week at 15 years old, that was a lot of money.
That's awesome. I love it. Awesome. Ryan, you've been absolutely awesome. Thank you. Any last words for our peeps?
Well, if you want to watch some wacky, crazy things, I did something during the pandemic that my kids forced me to do. I launched TikTok. Maybe, Michelle, you'll put the link there to all my socials. And I went from 0. I've got 70,000 followers now on TikTok. People watch they're wacky. They're it's anybody wants to do that and add that to their business, just be forewarned. It starts off as a lot of fun, but then it becomes a big job that you have to do every week, and you have to look like you're having a really good time. So have a good time with it. But if you want to take a look at some of the socials and see where we're at in different products, follow us on social media. And if you have ideas on a corporate level that you would like to reach out to me about in terms of partnering, of how to get your staff involved, or maybe you want to throw a themed event of any sort, a themed golf event, New Year's Eve, or you don't know what to do, but you're trying to come up with an event, reach out to me. I've got a plethora of ideas. I partner with bars, I partner with schools, I partner with different corporations, even condo associations, and churches and synagogues. So you name it, I'll work with everybody to try and come up with ideas, because I'm a true believer. If you could smile, the rest of the day is going to go better.
I love that. That is awesome. Ryan, again, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I know how valuable it is.
Thank you very much, Michelle. We'll see you soon.
Peeps, this is Michelle Nedlock. Thank you for being here with us today. Be sure to subscribe to the show and share it with your friends. We love helping entrepreneurs grow, especially during the holidays. Thank you for listening to our show. I'm all about being a resource center for entrepreneurs to give them the information and the support that they need to make it in business. As such, the notes for this show can be found at our website at awarenessstrategies.com/blog. Be sure to subscribe, give us a rating. I like 5 stars personally, and share with your friends.